You're listening to the Whole Church Podcast. This show is a proud member of the Anazao Podcasts Network. Our efforts to educate and unite the church are made possible thanks to all of our financial sponsors. If you too would like to help support our show, you can do so by going to our website and either becoming an official member of the Whole Church Podcast, leaving a one-time tip, or by purchasing a t-shirt to get the word out about our show. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy this episode. Nehemiah chapter 8, verses 9 through 12 in the New American Standard Bible. Then Nehemiah, who was the governor, and Ezra, the priest and scribe, and the Levites who taught the people, said to all the people, "This day is holy to the Lord your God. Do not mourn or weep." For all the people were weeping when they heard the words of the law. Then he said to them, "Go and eat the fat, drink of the sweet, and send portions to him who has nothing prepared. For this day is holy to our Lord. Do not be grieved, so the joy of the Lord is your strength." So the Levites calmed all the people, saying, "Be still, for the day is holy. Do not be grieved." All the people went away to eat, to drink, to send portions, and to celebrate a great festival, because they understood the words which had been made known to them. This pericope of scripture follows a portion where Ezra was reading the scripture to the Israelites, teaching from it right after they returned to Jerusalem from exile. The people were originally weeping over what they heard, but it quickly turns to celebration with food and wine in the section we just read there. I think wine. Dr. Reverend Leah Robinson, how do you think we could tell, like, when the proper response to theology, scripture, teaching, whatever, is celebration rather than remorse? Because I know sometimes maybe remorse is good.
Well, when wine's involved, clearly. Anyone who's like a hardcore inerrant Bible person and doesn't think that we should drink wine, I feel like has a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think them being out of exile, I think, is a really important part of this, because they had sort of accepted. It's when one accepts that your life is just a life of oppression, and a lot of people do that, and so it's really hard to snap people out of that. And I think we see that in the day-to-day now is, it's actually really hard to be, I would say, a minister in 2026, because every day is sort of doom and gloom. There doesn't seem to be a light. And so I think that you have to have a group of people to sort of say, no, like, this is not what life is all about. This is what we've been living, and it is not discrediting your experience. But today we are going to take a moment. We're going to take a break from that. And we're going to drink, and we're going to eat, and we're going to eat more than we should, and we're going to drink more than we should, and we're going to have a good old time in community. And it's not forgetting it. It's just saying that this isn't all that life is. And so when I hear that scripture, that's what I really think about is, it's okay to feel down. It's okay to feel like the world is against you and that things are not going well, because a lot of times they aren't. But take a break, find a friend, good segue, and have some wine.
Yeah. They call her Reverend because she can preach. You didn't know. Hey guys, welcome to the Whole Church Podcast, possibly your favorite church unity podcast, possibly not, which is cool because, you can't have unity podcasts that are like competing over the other unity podcasts, which of us are least polarizing, because then it's like, it just seems self-defeating, right? Anyway, I'm Joshua Noel, one of the hosts. Usually I'm only here to introduce the other host, TJ Tiberius Juan Blackwell, the greatest co-host of all time, Pod Almighty. But Pod Almighty has forsaken us. Why have I been forsaken? I don't know, but I'm
really good replacements. So.
Yeah. I'm forsaking him next week, so it's fine. You guys will hear more about that later. But today I am with the one and only, two and only hosts of Theology on the Rocks, two of my favorite people to get to talk to. Princess, Reverend, Doctor, a bunch of other adjectives, Leah Robinson, and only Doctor, Kristy Whaley. I am so excited to have you guys here. I've been listening to Theology Rocks for a long time, and today we're going to talk about their podcast, some about the other stuff they do, and how their podcast is on the Anazao Podcast Network. And we might compare it to some of the other shows, just out of curiosity. Where are the similarities? Where are the differences?
Us on the street and put us in a bag, and now we're here.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, it was. Yep.
We were just lounging around on the street.
Honestly, the way it happened on my end was like we had a few other shows we were reaching out to see if anybody wanted to join the network. And I think Christian or Brandon or somebody was like, you really like Theology on the Rocks? Are they on a network? And I'm like, they're huge. They're awesome. They're definitely on a network. I was like, well, you might as well ask. Like, what could it hurt? And I was like, I guess I'll ask to see. And I think y'all are the first ones to respond. And I was like, that's the one that I didn't think was going to respond to me because they're too important.
No, we have many other film books, but we also have a lot of time on our hands.
Which is great. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're also some of my favorite, like Leah, and I've admired y'all for a long time, but I remember the time that I first considered Leah a friend is because we were both kind of drunk at Theology Beer Camp and talking about why Rey actually is an awesome protagonist in the Star Wars sequels.
Oh, yeah.
And this is just the beginning of us angering Christian Ashley if he's listening to this. That's like maybe our side goal for this episode is to just poke at him.
Is he just
Church unity, except for today, we're gonna poke at. He hates the sequels as a whole. Just everything about them, I think. Yeah,
he's mentioned that, and I didn't understand it because he's like, "All right, everybody, take a drink now," or something on one of our recordings. I was like, "Are we just drinking?" Because I will, but what do we?
That's so funny. I do know he doesn't like Rey, but I think it's because he thinks Rey is like one of those characters with no flaws, and I think he might be wrong. But that's for our other podcast called Systematic Ecology. But again, I'm here with Dr. Reverend Leah Robinson. She is a professor of religion at Mercer University. And we're also here with Dr. Kristy Whaley, who's an assistant professor of religions at St. Petersburg College. I'm without TJ, so we're already off the rails, and I don't know how to do his parts, which is most of the intro, so I apologize, guys. Go to our website, purchase one of our t-shirts. Getting the t-shirt helps promote the show. It raises money for the podcast and gets word out about the show. Like, it accomplishes a lot with a simple action. One of my favorites is called I don't remember what it's called. It might be called like the Irish Trinity knot. It might be all it's called because it has the Irish Trinity knot on it. And I think it's awesome because I like that. Awesome. It's just a cool symbol. You made me a
t-shirt with my avatar for.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked really cool.
You should put that up because it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm very biased.
We should have one that just has like all that different avatars so people could just pick one, their favorite house, and get a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's our other show, Systematic Ecology. If you guys want to head over to the Anazao Podcast Network, you can see Theology on the Rocks, Systematic Ecology. I mentioned Christian Ashley, so we'll say Let Nothing Move You. You can listen to that too, and like 5 other shows he's on, because as much as I like to pick at him, Christian is awesome and does a lot of podcasts, and he's a good friend and a nice person, even if I disagree with him about a lot of things, including Star Wars. So there you go. He also has a show like Why I Don't Like, so I'm sure eventually he'll talk about why he doesn't like Star Wars on that.
I'll be on there.
Yeah.
I can be on
there. Since we've already been so serious, we've just been so serious. I think it's time to get into a silly question to kind of like, ease all this tension here. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
We always start with a silly question. I think it's the greatest form of unity is silliness. And instead of a question, I really did like a whole segment for this because I was like, there's no way we'll get off the rails. I might as well do something that will will make certain that we do get off the rails.
Yeah.
Like I was worried that we wouldn't get off. So I made a question.
We would be so focused and serious.
If I didn't have this, we would be too focused. Yeah. So here it is. Instead of a question, it's a assignment we're all going to do. And I'll go first, give you guys time to think about it. We're going to pair a wine with your favorite book, a beer with your favorite show, and a cocktail with your favorite TV series. I think picking my favorite book is probably the hardest of all of these for me.
Kirsty's gonna pull Christian and be like, well, I have 4.
I will make it 1. I will pick. I will.
I'm gonna go with my favorite book. I'm gonna say is Alice in Wonderland, but I'm including Through the Looking Glass because it's just all amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like it just needs to be something like exotic and weird. So if I'm gonna go with a wine for that one, I've seen an apricot wine once. I didn't try it, but I should have, and I think that would go really well because it kind of like that feels kind of British and kind of like zany. So I feel like that works. Yeah. Favorite show? There's a lot I could say. I'm gonna go with Scrubs because they're about to do the renewal, and I love Scrubs so much. If I'm picking a beer for Scrubs, it can't be like a real manly beer or like, like what I usually drink like dark stouts, but I feel like that's too strong. Yeah. So I feel like it needs to be something like light, maybe fruity. So I'm going to cheat. And instead of a beer, I think it would be either like a sour or a cider. Mm-hmm. So maybe like a hard apple cider, I feel like would probably be good for scrubs. Yeah. Okay. Cocktail with your favorite movie. I still think my favorite movie is Kingdom of Heaven, even though I know there's a lot of anti-Christian rhetoric in it, but it's fine because I love it anyway. Cocktail, that's hard. I do think it should be something stronger, so maybe like a mule, but maybe like a Kentucky mule instead of a German mule, because it's still very much like you can tell that this is like American Hollywood film, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with a Kentucky mule with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Leah, go. Good. Because I am still in the know.
The reason I'm going to go is because Kristy's still thinking about that book. I know her.
All right.
So this is going to be kind of surprising, I think, to a lot of people that my favorite book is actually Jack Kerouac On the Road.
Nice.
Because it goes against my feminist leanings. But I read it. I love it. It just is. I can't do anything about it. And I think actually you got to have a real trashy wine for that. And I'll shout out to anybody who's ever been to Scotland for Buckfast. I feel like it's the wine. It's like fortified wine. It's like there's not really an equivalent, but it also has energy drink in it. So it's wine. Yeah.
It's not caffeine. Yeah.
This sounds crazy. I like it. Okay.
It makes people go insane. And I've drank it one time and we were at a festival and essentially you feel pretty good because it's like the wine chill, but you're feeling good. Yeah. And then if you have like more than a couple, you want to like go out and just rage against the machine. So I feel like that is perfect for On the Road. It starts out okay and then things go completely insane. Let's see. My favorite TV show is Twin Peaks, as we know, if you've listened to podcasts at all. David Lynch's masterpiece. And there is actually a brewery and I'll take a picture of it in Charlotte that has a beer. The brewery is called Petty Thieves, and it's got a beer called The End Is Near, and it's all the Red Room from and like the Giant, if you know.
That's cool. Yeah.
Twin Peaks. They've just designed it as that, and they have a Twin Peaks Day that's coming up this Saturday. Well,
sweet.
Depending on when we record this, maybe not, but it's coming. It's a Saturday. My favorite film is All the Real Girls, which is a independent film about Southern people, and I really, really love it.
So All the Real Girls?
All the Real Girls. Yeah, it has a very young Danny McBride, weirdly Zooey Deschanel, but the rest of them are kind of have become pretty big Southern actors. If you go to the Righteous Gemstones, a lot of them are.
Yeah. Okay, I see it. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, but it was like the first film that I saw that really portrayed Southerners as being like, they all have these intense accents, like very, very deep North Carolinian accents. But like they're talking about like mind-blowing stuff and like really intelligent stuff. And it was like, you know, they weren't the comic relief. And I think that was, but it's also a really good story as well. And interesting about poverty and economics in this region. In terms of drinks, it has to be something that's quintessentially Southern. There's a drink actually in, I had many of them in my head, but there's a drink in Savannah called the Artillery Punch. If you,
ooh, that sounds interesting.
It is. It is interesting. I told Kristy it's like the Savannah sort of drink of the city, but it's basically a prohibition drink. So that they just have thrown a bunch of stuff into it, and now they make it just as like a novelty drink, but it will make you feel things.
That's funny. I know Savannah, Georgia, this is going to be so random. There is a burger I love that's in Savannah, Georgia, but I never remember the name of the restaurant, but I know exactly where it is in the city.
I love that.
And I always go and I'm like, I'm going to remember the name of this. And then I don't. Like every time I'm like, I got to remember it this time.
There are like 5 restaurants in Denver that I love, but if you ask me the name, I'd be like, I don't know. I can just go there. Yeah. That's it. But I can't remember what it's called.
Y'all got the same brain.
Yeah. Speaking of good burgers, though, Mugshots. If you're in like the Mississippi, Louisiana, any of those areas, Mugshots is great.
We started this discussion talking about Flaming Amy's as well.
Oh, God. Flaming Amy's is awesome. We're starting a foodie podcast on the network right now. You're listening to it, and you just didn't know.
Burgers on the rocks. Except Kristy's is an impossible burger.
It's my turn.
Yes,
and I am dying because picking any of these things is very hard for me. So, but we're going to do it. So only because it's been recently on my mind, but my favorite book for the moment is Jane Eyre. And Jane Eyre, you have to be like in a dark and stormy kind of mood / cabin or castle or something, needs to be dark and moody because it's good.
Just where we usually hang out, those dark and moody castles.
Me here in Florida, it's really dark and moody.
So many castles and moors to hang out on.
So you want like a good, like heavy wine, and my favorite wine is Cab Sauv because they're usually bold and good for that kind of dark and stormy night. What is it? It's TV show next?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Oh no. My favorite TV show is we're gonna say Lost. Again.
TJ will be happy about that.
I love Lost. And I mean, it has to be like Coors Light or something. Like Lost. You
just the Dharma beer. I feel like Dharma Initiative beer was a Coors Light.
I was gonna say like the Dharma Initiative had a beer, and it was probably just Coors, something real basic. So, and plus you don't want to get too drunk during that show, or you will have no idea what is happening or where you are or any of that.
The smoke monster comes up and you're just like, take it. Whatever.
And then my favorite movie is Dazed and Confused, which feels like I need another beer, but if it's a cocktail, it's got to be a good party cocktail. And so like I'm leaning towards Jungle Juice for the millennials out there.
I like it. Yeah.
Because that's what we would have had.
My wife introduced me to Jungle Juice. It's great.
Mad Dog 2020, though, I guess it's not a cocktail.
So on our other podcast, this is Ecclesiology, known as Josh with the Bad Opinions. And it was great because for a while we had another Josh, and he was Josh with the Good Opinions.
Oh, okay.
So I just throw out there, Josh with the Bad Opinions. Lost might be my least favorite thing I've ever seen.
That's the worst
I
opinion.
couldn't stand it.
Josh, that's a bad opinion.
I got like 5 episodes in, and I was like, why am I watching this? Like, I just couldn't figure out why I was still watching it. So I just turned it off.
What if Kristy and I just left?
We just like, that's it. We're out.
Like, we just hit that little red button on the bottom of the screen. We were like, bye.
Like, bye.
Just peace. The other bad opinion I have to throw out to like counter, because I feel like I was like manly beers. I like stouts. So I'm just going to like share my other bad opinions to show how like absolutely not that, like, that's just not me. I love really fruity cocktails, and like with wines, I have such a hard time with wine unless it's like super fruity and just like basically juice. And it's like, why are you even bothering, dude?
Oh, God.
Like, yeah. Like, I know it's like, I know that's a terrible opinion. Like, I'm like, that's awful.
You had me on the cocktail.
But it's true.
I'll do a fruity cocktail.
Yeah,
but a fruity
cocktail
wine
all day long.
That's bad theology.
Well, that's where I'm like, I'll sit there at a bar and you'll either see me like a giant like pint of like a dark beer, and I'm like, yeah. Or sometimes it's like apple teeny, easy on the teeny for the scrubs.
The scrub. I was gonna say,
I love it. I'm like, it's fine.
If you had made a cocktail and TV show,
it would have had to be
apple teeny,
zero options.
Like, that's just it.
That was the first drink I ever ordered after I turned 21. Was apple teeny, easy on the teeny.
I ordered this.
That's how much I like scrubs.
I went to a wedding and I didn't even realize. I was like, oh, I'm 21 now, and I was at a wedding, and then I went with this. It was anyway. Whatever. I didn't know what to order, and the guy said order a 7 and 7, and I went, I want a 7 and 7. Try to actually come up with it. And I still honestly, I'm not really sure. I think 7 Up, but I don't really know what it was.
That's so funny.
It's Seagram's and 7-Up.
Yeah. I also wasn't ID'd that day, and I'm still upset about it. Like I just turned 21, and they didn't. Like, what are y'all?
And I said it like in the most like I should be ID'd way because I was like, I guess I'll have a 7.
I'll have a 7 and 7. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna be TJ and get us on the rails with the first question that we're actually supposed to ask. One of the best ways we found to engender church unity, Christian unity, whatever, is to hear one another's story. So I was just wanting to see if you guys could kind of share some about your history, relationship with like church, faith in general. We've had Leah on before. She's talked some about it, but I don't think we got the full picture. But I'm gonna start with Kristy, and then we'll get I don't know, maybe the full story of Leah Robinson's relation to faith.
Yeah,
we'll see. But let's start with Kristy.
I'm a Buddhist now.
Perfect.
Yeah, I grew up in. My parents were Christians, but they had become Christian like not terribly long before I was born, and so they weren't necessarily entirely sure of what kind of Christians they wanted to be, I guess. And so we moved churches a lot. So I didn't grow up really entrenched in any denomination. We went to a whole bunch of different ones. And then my parents, we didn't go to church during football season at all. So I thought that there just wasn't church during football season, which will tell you a lot about, me as a person. But I went to a Christian school. And so also my parents felt like that was enough church. So I wasn't really involved. That's fair. It was a lot of, you get a lot of church at Christian schools.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
But I wasn't in a youth group or anything like that. So I was kind of, I guess I believed in Jesus and I was like real into it personally, but not connected to any kind of church community or anything like that. Until I went to college. When I was in college, I was in Campus Crusade. And I think that was the first time that I was like, here I'm in a thing. And, but I got kicked out.
You got kicked out of Campus Crusade?
I got kicked out. Well, I got kicked out of
leadership. You got kicked out of it. How'd you get kicked out?
Yeah, I got kicked out of it. I got kicked out of leadership specifically. I was
were you smoking the whacking tobacco?
It's
legal in Colorado, so I'm not even being illegal.
It is legal in Colorado. It was not then, but no, I wasn't. That wasn't it. I had the audacity to tell them that I thought their Bible studies were stupid.
Okay. I'll do it.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Because they only had, and this might just have been my chapter. I don't really keep up with it, but they only had one Bible study, and you had to do it every year. And so it was the same Bible study every single year. And I was like, this is pointless. I don't want to do this again. And I was taking a class that was a night class during the time that my Bible study met. And they told me that I needed to drop the class so I could go to Bible study. And I told them that was incorrect. So essentially they told me I could either drop that class or I could no longer be part of leadership. And I was like,
yeah, good for you.
Okay, bye.
Good job.
So after that,
by the
way, I again kind of found myself not really rooted into church. I didn't find a church that I really felt did much in terms of like helping me spiritually, until after I went to seminary, and I didn't really go to church during seminary, if I'm being very honest. But again, I was in seminary.
Seminary is your church when you're in seminary.
Like you're in seminary.
You're in seminary.
And then when I moved to Glasgow, I needed a place to go and make friends and feel connected, because PhD programs in the UK can be a little isolating. And so I found an Episcopal, it's a Scottish Episcopal church called St. Mary's. And I made really amazing friends there. And I also kind of rediscovered, or I guess maybe discovered for the first time, a feeling that like church did something for me. And I really like all of the high church elements and the kind of routine and the connection to history and stuff like that. So
And the wine.
Yeah, I feel that.
And wine. And we had a lot of Prosecco. And they had a glitter cannon that we would shoot at the portrait of Mary on Easter. So
wait, for real? Crazy.
Yeah, it was great. I can send you a video.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I grew up Pentecostal, and I really love high church now. I still love my Pentecostal roots and church unity stuff, but yeah, when I was at Wilmington also went to Crew, but like I went to their regular services because that's where the pretty girls were, and then like I went to the Bible study once and was like, and then I started going to a different Bible study because I didn't like theirs at all. And that's actually where like the group I would do like the weekly small group meeting stuff is where me and Christian really connected, ironically.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is I don't have a bad story about that experience, even though I'm not conservative Christian anymore. Christian is still conservative Christian and does have bad stories about that group,
funny.
But that's his stories to tell, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I made a lot of wonderful friends while I was in Crusade and that I'm still friends with to this day, but we all got kicked out at some point.
Well, getting kicked out of something together really brings, builds bonds.
There's a lot of bonding. Yeah. I won't tell their stories about it at the moment, but there's some fun ones. Yeah.
All right. Well, Leah, it's your turn. I think when we've had you on before, you gave us little like snippets of how like you at one point were in a Baptist church and some of your teaching stuff where you've been at colleges, but I don't think we ever just like heard your story. I don't even know if I've just heard your story because it's very rare that I'm like, hey bud, what's your story?
Drank red wine and we're like, we love Ray and here's my story.
Who knows? Who knows what came up? Well, it was very late that day.
It was. And also I will say Kristy was outside and I remember it was you and Nick Pohl inside and all this stuff was happening outside that I found out much later.
This was that night. There was a lot going on that night.
You and I were having a wholesome conversation about Star Wars, and outside it was something else was happening outside. And then later Kristy was like, "Oh my gosh, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Me and Joshua were just being really sweet inside and talking about Star Wars." I don't know.
I feel like the inside party was like a really serious, like, community building party, and the outside party was like
we talked about our partners a whole bunch.
Was like dazed and confused. Like it was like
really
full on.
Well, I for those who don't know, I'm like ADHD, and I feel like I present like I'm an extrovert, but I'm very introverted, and I push myself every beer camp. Like it's really hard for me to do those events. So I was outside for a while and drinking, and I was talking to Nick, and I heard some stories, and it was like wild, and I'm like, this is a lot of fun. And then I eventually got to where I'm like, I've drunk too much to be able to handle this many people. And then I went inside.
See, my husband has a very similar personality to yours, Joshua. Kristy's met and can attest to this. So I'm fairly used to like talking to people who have, and you came in and I could tell your battery was at like
0.
2. So I just was like,
yeah. Well, it's funny too, because I was going to go into bed, but then I was like, this is Dr. Leah Robinson. How often am I going to get a chance to talk to, like, I really did, like, in my head back, especially then, I was like, I'm not going to get to just talk to Leah, whatever I want. Like, there's no way this is happening again. And then now I feel like we're friends, and it's great.
We are friends. You're in my phone.
That's awesome.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
Your name is in my, if you are in the geeks, as I call you, and actually, Will is texting me right now. I can see it on my computer.
God, that's so funny.
He's still trying to organize that thing that's going to be 4 weeks away.
Yeah, 3 years ago, I would not believe that I have you and Tripp's number in my phone. I would be like, you're on something and maybe need help.
Oh,
and here we are, and it's a great.
Well, here's the deal, and this is a testament to you, Joshua, is that not everyone's in my phone, and I don't respond to everyone. And honestly, Kristy will tell you, if you get a response from me within like 48 hours, it means that I actually really like you.
Oh,
this is
thank you.
This is just true.
I'm honored.
Yeah.
So, anywho, so yeah, I grew up in Georgia. We've talked about that, I think, in North Georgia, and I came from a long line of religious people. So this was not really like, I mean, it's North Georgia. So like there wasn't really a choice, probably like you, Joshua, I'm guessing, is that you just were born. It's very David Copperfield. You were just in the church. Mm-hmm. So there's only 2 churches in my town, and that was the Methodists, who were the dirty, dirty liberals, and then the Southern Baptist. So we went to the Southern Baptist church growing up. And my parents, I will say, were pretty like their religion was almost being Southern more than it was being religious, if that makes sense. Like, you didn't really have to be evangelical because no one was anything else. Like, it wasn't really that. But they cared a lot about like appearances and like how you presented and that kind of thing. And so while it may be through the lens of religion, it was a lot more like, you know, being this person, this sort of presentation, as it were. And then I went to college and I decided I was an atheist for a while, except I was a really bad atheist because I know it was really intense at my Christian school.
She shaved her head.
This is turning out to be like a really good, like Firefly kind of movie, you know, like CCM people movie. This is what it sounded like. We can get there.
One of my, the only person who's ever said I look like anyone, this may be a different show, but said I look like the girl from Firefly. I had a student come in and look at me and go, oh, you look just like that girl. And I'd never seen that show, like the space show.
Sorry. Oh, I wasn't thinking like that. I used the wrong name. I said Firefly, but I was thinking of that one, like, what's it, like Fireproof? That's what it was. That one, like, annoying Jesus
Firefly,
savior,
like the space show
of your marriage. Yeah, the Firefly, the space show is good. That's different. That's a compliment.
Well, I had a student. You know it's real when they like stop in their tracks and they look at you and they were like, he was like, oh my God, you look just like this girl.
That's
and
awesome.
Later I looked and I was like, I mean, yeah, I could see it, I guess. Anyway, so went to college. I wasn't really in the kind of, I really spent college trying to, people always talk about deconstruction, reconstruction. So a lot of my like college was like, I guess deconstruction, but like it was a very cultural religion that I was a part of. So it was more just like, I drank alcohol and I did other things that, you know, was not perhaps what we were supposed to do. And so, you know, it was all of that sort of stuff. So then I went, I had a professor named Rob Nash, and he taught me, and I was a psych major because I didn't want anything to do with religion. And he was like, you're really good at this. You need to be a religion major. So I ended up double majoring. And then he was like, you should go. I got into UGA to study psychology for a master's. And he basically was like, I'll get you a full scholarship if you go. He didn't say that, but he was like, we'll get you funding because that's illegal to say what I just said. But he was like, I bet we could get you funding if you go to Mercer, hilariously enough. And so he did. I applied and I got funding and I went to Mercer and then just kept on. I fell in love with theology and history of religion and stuff like that. And so I kept on and went and got my PhD. And now, hilariously, I co-teach with Rob Nash at Mercer University.
Yeah, that's awesome. Full circle.
Yeah, I've come full circle. So, I mean, my relationship with religion it's just always been there. It's sort of like this thing. It has been more of it's less of a negotiation about whether God existed or not, or whether I was a part of the system, and more about learning for myself. Because at one stage, I remember he told me, and this is what got me, he said, if you want, because I was like, I hate all of this stuff that's so oppressive to women. They tell me I can't preach. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, I'm smarter than most of these guys. Like, this is so dumb. And he goes, well, you can't fight the system if you don't know the system. And I remember I was like, you're right. I'm going to go and get a PhD in theology. So anytime anyone comes in here and says, the Bible says that you can't talk, I'll be like, well, let's chat about that. Yeah.
And now
let me get
that.
my professor hat, or that you can't do blah blah blah. And he was right, and so here I am.
Yeah. TJ and I have talked about this a few different times on the show because it's like it's so weird to us because we grew up like very conservative Pentecostal, but it's like church got a prophecy, and because we grew up in it, it wasn't weird to us. But now I'm like, man, it's so strange because it's like biblical inerrancy, all this stuff, but they have women pastors, and it's just never was a question for us. And then we started hearing it from other people, and we're like, What do you mean? My pastor
Well, these
has been a girl
denominations,
my whole life.
they pick and choose. Like if I started raising my hands above my waist in my Southern Baptist church, people would think I was possessed by the devil, which in your church is probably very common.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even I think with me, because I was never rooted in church, but I never even went through an atheist phase. I was like, God is real and I love Jesus. I don't know about all these other people out here. I don't know about connecting it to an organization, commitment issues. So commitment issues, both to choosing a book and also to choosing a church.
She's about choosing things. Her and Christian will be on the podcast. It'll be 5 hours long.
I don't like making decisions, but it wasn't so much that I didn't ever know what I believed in God. That was always fine and well and good. But it was like every time I just felt like churches were weird or doing things that was because of them and their particular ideas, but like wouldn't make any sense somewhere else.
Until she saw the glitter cannon and then it all made
I saw that glitter cannon and I was like, you guys know my soul and I am here.
That's
I mean, I think all denominations are picking and choosing, and the idea that they're not is, I don't think, like, even historically, like, you could argue that they're not. Like,
some are just self-aware.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Some are.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, people will say, I didn't go through the high church phase that y'all two did, even though I grew up in low ritual church. I find the high church to be, it just doesn't fit. I don't know. Yeah. It's a lot of pomp and circumstance. So I don't like that. But I also don't like the happy clappy. Like, I would not do well in a Pentecostal church either.
TJ's church.
I have to find like a middle between that somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting because like with TJ and TJ, I think had that, like, that's culture. That's what it is. So I don't feel like he got like, to him, he never had like a toxic environment with the church. So he's able to be still that Pentecostal thing, still have different beliefs than them. And it's like, it's fine. It's not like a big deal. But like, I was very much, because I'm someone who hyperfixates. It's part of like ADHD stuff. In like the Pentecostal circles I was in, because I was in Assemblies of God for a little bit before I went back to Church God of Prophecy. And it's all like emotion driven, all this stuff. And I was very much like, I kind of had like a Paul moment, I think, in the last like few years. Because I was the one that was like, hell is real. And you guys are telling me lying is a sin. And he just lied. What are we doing? We're just letting people go forever and eternity. And like, I was freaking out all the time about it. And then eventually I started learning better theology and calming down a bit. And then I say better theology, unity. I people who disagree, it's fine. Theology. But for me, I think it's better, in my opinion. It seems to be smarter to me, but
I mean,
it's helped me a lot, and I've calmed down a lot, and that's where I had to go to a different church. Yeah, and I just happened to know Will, and I'm like, man, I could be in Will's church. What do you mean? So
yeah.
I mean, the Lutherans, I feel like are a good, maybe that in between I was talking about. Yeah, like, there's a little bit.
Lutherans seem to be like, we care a whole lot, but we don't necessarily care if you want to care. Like, if you don't want to care, that's fine. Like, we're not pushy, I feel like.
I took it was like a personality test, but it was going to tell you what denomination you should be in.
That sounds fun.
It said Lutheran because you value intellect and like, those kinds of things. And I was like, okay, so the Lutherans are the smart ones. And they're also the ones that drink the most beer. They do drink the most beer, and I love them. I just have never found a Lutheran church that I've like. I don't know that I've
even been to one, so I'm talking out of my.
It is a good middle road.
We'll just go to Chapel Hill and visit Will's church together.
I was going to say, if Will Rose, I will go to Will Rose's church. Whether it's if he wants to happy clap, I will happy clap all down the aisle.
That would be an interesting thing to see, but that's off the rails again. Trying to be TJ. Right. I am so bad.
We're doing it again. It's okay.
Okay, I'm gonna package some questions together. So you guys have Theology on the Rocks. It's now part of the Anazao Podcast Network. Super exciting. Just curious if you guys
happy to be here.
Give like a quick elevator pitch. What is Theology on the Rocks? Why did you start the podcast? And why do we still do it?
Why did you guys laugh? We both laughed the same way when you said, "Why do you still do it?"
No.
I know, but it was because Kristy and I are the same person basically, and so we both laughed at the same way at the same thing.
I'm gonna tell you what motivated me, because it was originally I reached out to Leah and I was like, we should do this. And I'm going to tell you very honestly that it was because I had just watched a bunch of episodes of Drunk History and I thought it looked like fun. And so I was like, how can I recreate this in my life?
That's wonderful.
So that was really what, like,
I forgot that. That's so great.
I was
That's
like, Leah,
wonderful.
I want to make a podcast that's drunk history, but we're theologians, so we'll just talk about theology instead. And she was like, sounds great. I'm there for it. So that is the story of how it started.
I love it. I love it.
Real end up.
Ironically, Whole Church is like accidentally, I feel like, has been a picture of my like deconstruction, reconstruction stuff, because like I started it right after I got like kicked out of ministry because I was, whatever stuff. And I was like, I still need to do ministry. I have like this itch. And I'm like, we'll just do a podcast about unity. That'll be super easy. I won't get in trouble. It'll be fine. And I was wrong. And here we are 7 years and unity isn't easy. Unity is hard and
unity
not
is hard. Yeah.
Quick topic to talk about.
I know. I did say something whenever I was on a podcast with Trip Fuller and Tom Ward. I said, he was saying he got kicked out of a church for affirming LGBT stuff. And I was like, well, at least you got kicked out. I never got let in to preach as a woman. And then it just got really quiet. But I was like, oh, that was supposed to be kind of a joke. But everybody just got really, if you listen to that podcast, everybody goes quiet. And I was like,
I love those moments where you think it's a joke and everybody else takes it really serious.
Well, I've processed it now. I'm ordained, so I've gone through it. But I realize, like, some people are like, oh, that is bad. And I'm like, well, yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's both bad. Yeah. No, but I think, too, like, why we still do it is because Leah and I just want to hang out and talk to each other all the time.
For sure.
I get that. This is fun. I get it.
Assume that there are two people listening. I just need you to know that, like, we have very low expectations of ourselves, I guess, or...
When you assume
like,
that, are you factoring me in? Like, in your mind, am I half of your audience?
Yeah, essentially.
You're like, we're doing this for Josh Noel.
You and Bryant Burkhardt are the two.
We were like, Bryant listens to us.
I know Bryant does because he sends this message.
He'll be like, I listen
funny.
to your podcast today and here are my thoughts. It's great. I love it. Keep doing that, Bryant. But like, yeah, we just assume that it's like an audience of two. And so it's really just an excuse for us to chat to each other.
And then we look at the numbers and we're like, oh God.
Well, and then people will come up to us and be like, I listen to your podcast. And if you ever have said that to us and you immediately thought that we looked horrified, it's because that's a moment where we realize that people are listening.
We're not just talking to each other anymore.
Yeah. We're like, oh, this is on the internet.
That's so funny. Well, I do this for an audience of one.
Listeners. We're very glad for them, but we just don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. But that should give you a little insight into the podcast is that the podcast is about theology. We do have a drink that we have each week. We used to take suggestions. We still do, except some of y'all are sadists and
we got
want us to die.
Yeah.
So, but we chat the way that Kristy and I chat if we're in the same room. That's why we don't really edit. Well, we don't edit it.
We don't.
Because
we don't know how.
I want it to sound like if you're Joshua Noel and you meet one of us at beer camp, you would have the same conversation that you're hearing on the podcast. And that's the real hope. And sometimes it's very theology heavy. And then sometimes it's, I think a couple weeks ago, we just talked about the fact that I got bored during a snowstorm and Stuart cut all my hair off.
Yeah. I love
for
that
like 45 minutes. I was like,
talked about that for a while. I feel like too, one of the goals that we had was realizing that a lot of our friends find us like, when they ask theology questions and we're a little tipsy, that we're more entertaining to listen to than if we're like in teacher mode. And so we were like, well, if we just make it a super casual podcast, we can either talk about theology or we can talk about, one episode, there was a lot of talk about our animals pooping. I don't know.
Oh my God, it was the whole thing.
Sounds great.
It was the whole thing.
So you get
infamy now.
You just get what you get because we have no other way to do that.
Well, also, people don't realize Kristy and I talk like via like chat like every day, pretty much. Like if we don't hear from each other, that's kind of a weird
Very bad. Yeah.
But we typically don't always see each other except for this one time each week.
Yeah.
We're like face to face. And so then we're just like, oh my God.
That's so funny.
We're also both really extroverted. And so
We
it's
are.
an immediate like feeding off of being just so excited to be
You should-
talking to each other.
You should see my husband who's a very introverted IT person. When Kristy and I are around, it's like he just fades into the wall. Like
He
he
does.
just goes
He's that Homer Simpson just going back into the bushes.
back into that bush.
But like in a good way. You can
And
tell
again,
he's like,
he loves it because Joshua, you and I were talking about this at the beginning. Is his battery gets low really quick. So for it's almost like it's like a play date for kids. All of a sudden, I get play dates now because he'll like shove me to Kristy and be like, "Y'all go play," and he's just like drinking a bourbon in the back, just being like,
so
"Yep,
funny.
y'all are on your play date."
Yeah. See, my wife has a friend like that, but
Yep.
I just kind of like go to the office and edit podcasts, play on the Steam Deck, whatever. It's great.
Yeah.
I like it.
I need him to be present in the room though, because
Oh.
we're really hilarious.
I'm glad I don't have
humble,
that.
and humble.
I know we really want people to watch us. That's the other thing. is that we're
super humble, and so we
super
need
humble.
The most
witness-
humble podcast on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah,
most-
absolutely.
That
It
should
is the
you
most
should
humble
advertise
podcast.
that.
And we
Should put
want
that in.
someone to witness our humbleness in
We
order.
want there to be an
Yeah,
audience.
humility that demands an audience. Yeah.
I love that. We should make a T-shirt. Humility that demands an audience.
Our new
Oh, man.
catchphrase.
Oh my God, that's great.
Oh man. Yeah. So this is why y'all do it. This is
the
fun.
podcast.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
It's exactly the same. Yep.
All right. I'm gonna do 2 quick games before asking like 1 or 2 little questions, and we'll wrap up. Okay.
Okay.
So
Rude.
yeah. Well, I sleep. I'm
Like
an
you
old
edited.
man.
It's like you edited or something.
Oh man. Okay. First, I want to see
Ready.
how your podcast relates or absolutely doesn't relate to the other shows on the Anazao Podcast Network. So I don't even know if
Ready.
you all know what all shows are on there. I
Sure
don't
don't.
ever remember them all, which is terrible. I should, but I don't.
I know the
So-
one I'm on. I know the ones I'm on.
It's like,
I'm gonna go through here.
You know, Your Matter Matters,
Oh, we do know your matter matters. That's true.
Oh yeah,
and we know Systematic Ecology
in the whole church podcast.
and the Whole Church Podcast, obviously. And
Maybe it.
Nice.
I don't
Okay.
know the titles for any of the others.
All right,
All right,
I'm gonna
well,
go
you know the
through.
game.
I'm gonna go through, tell you what the
Okay.
podcast is about, and you guys either tell me, like, find a way that your podcast relates to it or contrast to it, whatever, or just be like, yeah, there's no correlation here. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay,
So we'll find a correlation, but we'll try to be honest.
Okay. Whole church podcast. What we're on right now, Church Unity.
I think, we also, Leah and I disagree about a number of topics, and we'll occasionally have little debates and stuff. So we like to find, where
It's like a cage match.
disagreements can still be in community and like you can get along. So yeah,
Yeah,
we're about unity. Unity is great.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
we're
dig it.
into it.
I dig it.
We're into it.
Yeah.
Man, well, let's alternate. I'm going to throw the next one to Leah. So she's on this other podcast, Systematic Ecology. I guess it's like ecumenical work in engaging pop culture or something like that. Pop culture stuff.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
worst. No connection whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what Kristy and I do most of the time. Is each week we're talking about some topic that's in our lives. Of late, it's been quite politics heavy as opposed to pop culture, but we absolutely talk about pop culture too. I'm going to go see Wuthering Heights this weekend.
Me too.
And she wants to. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people going to be at Wuthering Heights this weekend.
Yeah, I have no desire to see it. I just love the movies, and my wife hates the smell of popcorn, so I rarely get to go to the movies. So when it's something she wants to watch, I don't care what it is. I'm going for the sake of being at the theater. Like I don't.
She hates popcorn. I'm just
Yeah,
excited.
It makes her
I
nauseous.
have one free popcorn.
I love popcorn so much.
Me too.
I love
me too.
popcorn. I could eat so much popcorn.
So you
This
guys
is
are
really
the
a
host
big
of Theology
podcast.
on the Rocks, so we're gonna skip that.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Oh, yes.
doesn't seem
really
not
are-
applicable.
We have nothing to do with ourselves.
What about-
Okay.
Kung Fu Pizza Party is Brandon Knight talking about martial arts media. So this goes to Kristy. Is there any way you could find?
Yeah. Is
Okay.
that
All right.
we
Kristy
both,
Whaley.
yeah. I'm on this. We both are world religion professors. And
I know. I said we're gonna square peg round hole it no matter what.
And we teach about Taoism, and occasionally Taoism will come up, but it's not well. So I am gonna say mostly no, but there is the tiny connection.
Okay. All right. Let Nothing Movie. We already mentioned this. Christian Ashley going through the Bible kind of a chapter at a time. Yeah. Bible podcast.
We talk about the Bible. It's probably not
the same way.
Way.
He's a far more conservative than you guys, I feel like.
I was gonna say, I don't. The Reverend Doctor says it might not be the same way, but I mean, we talk
that
about
works.
the Bible, but I think sometimes we do say we'll let the Bible scholars do that, because I think we do fall back more on theology, the interpretation more than the scriptures.
That's fair. That's fair. I like that we actually have multiple Bible podcasts on the network, and they're very much don't agree with one another, and I kind of like that.
In a world of
get like a full
why
perspective.
You don't need to. People
Exactly,
already done that. Don't go chapter by chapter. We got commentaries for that. We have a whole side of this shelf.
Some people don't like to read. Okay. My seminary life, Brandon Knight, started off as him going through what he's learning in seminary, and now it's just him as a continual lifelong student of theology. Is there any way that could possibly relate?
Not at all. We don't like theology at all. No, I mean, that's also basically what we do. Because
both Kristy and I have been to seminary as well. So
yeah,
we've both been to seminary, so we could talk about our seminary lives. But no, like, I mean, we have all of the time, one of us will be like, oh, I'm reading this book, and I want to talk about this, or just kind of bring it up. We've been chatting a little bit about some of the stuff that Leah is currently working on her latest book. And so, bringing up different issues there. That happens.
Yeah. I think Brandon's probably just like a little right of center. And I feel like you guys, in my mind, you guys are like left of center. Like, I don't think of you guys as like extremely progressive. Like, I'm like, you guys are progressive, but not like.
Kristy's a little, I think Kristy's more left than me, but
yeah.
I think it's interesting because I think that
on some things, though, because I'm a little bit more left than you on some other.
I would say like socially or politically, I'm more left than I'm more.
Oh, so you guys pick and choose,
but also theologically,
we know we do it.
I'm probably a little bit more conservative than Leah is. So like,
interesting.
There's a lot of give and take there.
Yeah. All right. Up next, Your Matter Matters. That's Will Rose and Thomas Johnston, some Lutheran pastors, talking about faith and science, putting the "and" there. Yeah,
I mean, we certainly have done that. I think the way that Theology on the Rocks works is it's not. I don't want to say haphazard, but it is kind of. But if a topic comes up that's pop culture in our minds, we mostly just chat, as I said, on the day to day, and say like, what's coming up. Like I was talking to friend of the podcast, Nick Polk, last night, just chatting back and forth about an article where he used some of my stuff in it.
Nice.
And about interpretation. And Kristy and I had been talking about Wuthering Heights. And then we also talk a lot about bad theology, because that's the book that I wrote, and like interpretations of the Bible. So we were like, what if we all just get on and talk about why people feel like they have to have the right interpretation of things? Because all these people are going mental about Wuthering Heights. So in summary, it's whatever kind of comes into our mind in a given day. And sometimes it is science stuff, especially when we had the, a lot of stuff related to women's rights and things like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We also just had them on. So if you want to listen to them talk about their podcast on our podcast. Yeah, last week.
Yeah, this is like the podcast inception. Yeah.
We were so much more organized than most at the time.
We were a little bit, yeah.
All right, up next, Friday Night Frights. Christian Ashley, Joe Day are just talking about, I don't even know how to word this right. Like, sometimes it's stuff that's paranormal. Sometimes it's just like cryptozoology. Sometimes it's like murder mystery stuff. They just, I don't know. It's Friday Night Frights.
Is this my turn? Yeah.
Ryan Doze and I are already doing this podcast.
I was like, Leah loves horror.
Doom or something. I can't remember. Yeah. Something Dread.
Yeah.
Something Dread. Cool. He did just advertise it, and I can't remember what it's called, but Ryan Doze.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome. Yeah, I love Ryan.
It's going to be very cool. Leah is a big horror fan, and she's very knowledgeable about horror. So we talk about horror, and I love everything to do with like spiritual stuff and like woo woo shit. Like that's
okay. Yeah.
So you want to talk about ghosts? I'll talk about ghosts with you. But if you want me to watch a horror movie, I will leave. Leah can watch.
I would tell her like because I wanted her to watch Alien Earth, so I was like, I'll tell you when things are going to get like I'll timestamp it.
I still got to watch that.
And
she's like, just watch these bits and pieces. And then Ryan Doe's was like, don't watch it, Kristy. And I was like, cool.
That's so funny. That's so funny. All right. Up next, some joyful noises. There is no host. It's just whenever somebody sends us something or someone that's already on the network decides they want to record something about music, it just goes up. So it's a music podcast with no rhyme, rhythm, or reason.
I mean, I feel like Kristy, I don't think we have to keep going back and forth, but see, this is the organized part. Kristy actually is more organized than I am, which you would think based on how I talk. I could talk my way out of a paper bag, but like she's way more structured.
That's because I have anxiety.
Yeah.
I have anxiety too. I just drink a lot. So, but the emogelicals, I think, is more that sort of a thing that you do. But Kristy and I both have a deep, deep love of music. And we have differing styles of music, and sometimes it's funny, our different styles, but we both hold to that very strongly. And Kristy on a podcast that is called
Emogelicals, with Josh Patterson, which ironically, we're about to do an episode for Some Joyful Noises with Josh Patterson and I and maybe TJ talking about some Midwest emo music.
Emo, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited. He introduced some songs. Yeah. I mean, if you guys want to join. Okay. Next is why I don't like Christian Ashley again. This is him talking about stuff that he doesn't like and going into like the substance of why he doesn't like it instead of just being like, I don't like it.
Things I don't like.
That's why I don't like. Yeah. No.
I thought that was a joke.
No, he goes through because he takes the time to watch it, even if he doesn't like it. And we'll go through like right now he's been doing an anime and he's like, here's why I don't like it. Like substantially giving reasons instead of just, I don't like this.
TJ.
So interesting. Leah and I really like to live and joy. So I don't know that we have.
we would.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about things we don't like. And
occasionally.
Like fascism and all the isms.
Yeah, we don't like the isms, but like
murder, but we don't necessarily like relish it.
But we do like true crime.
We do.
Yeah. We find ways.
We do watch a whole lot of true crime.
Yeah.
Well, what I'll say, I think he does a good job of trying to steel man the shows and stuff that he doesn't like, and then talk about why it still doesn't work for him. And I feel like I try to do that on Whole Church when it comes up because like it's hard. Would do a church unity podcast and never talk about stuff that I disagree with. So okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain we disagree with many
but
things.
I also think we don't try to be very neutral about it. That's not really our vibe. I think if we don't like it, like, and Kristy and I'll disagree, but I think you're gonna know if we don't like it. And I think that's another thing about Theology on the Rocks is that we never. I appreciate what the Whole Church does because you're attempting a unity thing, and I don't think that we do that, and so it's not for everybody, and that's okay. Like I don't.
Yeah,
but I think we live through enough, especially being women theologians and me being a minister. Like we've lived through enough of like accommodating for people who don't agree with us, and I think now we're tired of that a little bit.
Yeah. There's some conversations I'm just done having. So,
although I have kept myself from saying curse words 5 times now, I've kept up in my head.
Thank you. All right. Next up, it's my podcast, Be Living Water, where I talk about different media, whatever things. Right now, I've been doing like the Book of Daniel and Les Miserables, talking about it from the perspective of like Christian Taoism is, I guess, would be how I would describe that.
That's very cool. I mean, again, I think we do a lot of that. I think we did a podcast about Barbie, right?
That's fun.
We did, yeah.
We did an episode about Barbie. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So like we are big fans of like something like, and like Leah just said, we're gonna have a little chat about Wuthering Heights and
Wicked. We did a whole thing.
We did episode on Wicked and
you can see the thing.
Like not just about them, but like theologically interacting with them. So
nice. All right. The next one's The Homily with Pastor Chill Will from Chapel Hill. It's literally when his producer Joshua remembers to upload his homilies. Sometimes they get put up in a podcast.
That's very cool. We don't do homilies, so
yeah,
we don't do homilies,
yeah, it's fine.
We can get Will on to do a homily. I could do them.
Yeah,
homilies are so much easier. And
Will's homilies are great.
I went to Baptist seminary, and it was like 3-point sermon, and it has to be like 30 minutes. And I was like, okay. And the homilies, you just
it's great.
In and out.
You put up and you're like,
last year, Sunday fell on May the 4th fell on a Sunday. So Will, of course, has a Star Wars homily that's up there, and I had to put that on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right. The Bible After Hours starts with kind of like a little bit of a satirical piece on evangelical Christianity, and then it's more of like a progressive reading of the Bible as the show kind of goes on there. I do the voice work for that, but it's not my material, and I don't agree with everything. But I'm okay voicing stuff I don't agree with because I'm weird.
You're kind. That's nice.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I gotta do some acting.
I've not listened to it, but I mean, we certainly lean on a more progressive interpretation of the text. Not even, I would say liberative, but that's my...
Yeah, I mean, definitely more liberation, progressive version of the Bible. So,
it's the right version.
The correct one.
All right, last up, the newest member of the network, actually, I think is a little bit newer than y'all. I think. Paige and Pixel. It is Paige will 1 week tell Pixel about a book she recently read, and then the next week Pixel will tell Paige about a video game that she played. And it's a lot of fun. They are completely off the rails and a ton of fun. They actually they kind of remind me of you guys. Not like completely. I feel like they're more off the rails somehow. It's because they don't have that doctorate to reel them in.
God, it would be chaos.
Can you imagine if we were more off the rails? That sounds great. I love that.
I love it too. Yeah, it's fun.
That's the most one I would probably listen to quite actively.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about video games though.
I think they're both non-binary. And at least one of them has mentioned that they're non-binary on the show, and I'm like, that's really interesting. And it has me really wanting to play Silent Hill 2 because they reviewed a Silent Hill. They reviewed a Silent Hill game, and then they were like, this game is awful, but the rest of the series is wonderful. And I'm like, well, I don't want to play the awful one you reviewed, but the premise sounds cool, so I want to go one of the fun ones.
Like one person's awful is another person's great.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. One last game, and this one's quicker because of what it is. It is the patented whole church speed round.
Ready.
Okay.
We'll alternate again. I'm gonna ask you guys a series of questions. You have to answer in one sentence. If if it's a run-on sentence, you have to tell us the punctuation. We need to know. It's if you don't think you can answer it in a sentence, though, you could just say skip, and that's fine. Okay. All right. Who wants to go first before I cue the music?
I will go first because Kristy's giving me the look of death.
All right. Here we go.
Ready.
How do you view the importance of Scripture?
Important in the sense of how you interpret it.
All right, Kristy. How would you describe the atonement theory that you hold to?
Oh, it's reconciliation atonement.
Ooh, I like it. Okay. All right, Leah, do you believe open theism or process theology necessarily undermines classical theism?
I think these words are not words that theologians use.
That's fair. All right.
Sorry to everybody.
Okay. That's a sentence.
About this.
All right, Kristy, is the resurrection... Is the resurrection historical, theological, or both?
Both.
All right. Back up to Leah.
One word.
Yeah, that's even better. That should give you 1-2 sentence. I think it earned you time.
It earns me time.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. All right, Leah. Can Nicene Trinitarianism survive anti-metaphysical trends?
With the what trends? What was the trend?
Yeah, I feel like it's...
Say that again.
I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote this.
The Trinity
very last minute.
Can I just say the Trinity is made up?
Yeah, that's a great answer. All right, Kristy, what governs doctrine most? Scripture, tradition, or experience?
I think that it has to be a partnership between the three.
I like it. Methodist. Is deconstruction... Is deconstruction a pathway or a destination, Leah?
Pathway.
Yeah, I made these where you don't even have to use a sentence. Why'd I do that? That's cheating. All right, Kristy.
Like, I had a lot to say about process. So
is sin personal, systemic, made up, or a combination of personal and systemic?
It is a combination of personal and systemic.
Great. I like it. I'll have you both answer the last one then. Which of the 7 sacraments, if any, do you hold to? And I have them up here if you want me to read them off. All right. Baptism, confirmation, Eucharist, penance, anointing of the sick, holy orders, and matrimony.
Well, I feel...
What do we mean by hold to it? Like, which ones do we participate in?
Do you participate in, or do you view as sacrament? Because we get some interesting ones with that.
I feel like the 2, baptism and the Eucharist, are the 2 that I think are sacraments and participate in.
I mean, I think they're all also made up. So, I mean, they're lovely. They're really lovely, but they're all just social constructs. So, I mean, I don't think any of them are sacred in and of themselves.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, husband. Sorry, matrimony.
That's great. Hey, I hear you. What I think's interesting is, the way that it's a lot of people will describe, especially in the Catholic Church or Lutherans, weirdly enough, it's like sacrament has to be something Jesus commanded you of, which is why Baptists are usually like only these 2. Jesus didn't say the other stuff. What I love is TJ's answer is always, well, they forgot feet washing. And I just love that, which is a very Pentecostal answer.
I think there's a difference between sacred, like divine sacred, and community sacred. Like, do we hold these as as a community? Do we hold these as sacred? In which case, I agree with Kristy about baptism and Eucharist. Are these actually sacred, i.e., that they have come from the top down? To me, no. But I get their response.
I get that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think that where I come in is, again, this is what I meant earlier by like tradition and scripture, because it's not just that we can see Jesus being like, he gets baptized and then he tells us to have the Eucharist, but instead that's what like the early church starts doing very actively. And so there's a tradition beginning and like continuing that is important. Whereas like marriage is great, but like not as a church, like that's not part of the church practice, So
Stuart, I'm out.
Kristy
said we weren't sacred anymore. I'm out.
That's so funny.
Mary in Salem.
I think it might be one of those things like inerrancy where I'm like, I'm not sure if the term sacrament's helpful, but yeah, if you're thinking of like things that I think are sacred, like I consider all of these sacred, and I agree. TJ's feet washing, I also think is sacred. I've had some pretty meaningful experiences.
Well, I think there's other things that we do that are sacred that aren't necessarily even on that list. So
maybe unused.
I mean, this comes down to the definitions, and much like
feeding the poor is sacred.
The classical theism, Kristy and I just buck so much because it's not a phrase that it's been adopted.
Classical theism is not an accurate way to describe
that people have adopted. I think
I wrote that question at the speed round for this, for you to fluster you,
for us to get mad about it.
Exactly.
That's Josh Patterson gets to hear about it on the daily.
I was like, I listened to them enough. If I'm going to do a speed round, I have to include somewhere the line, the phrase classical.
I made a comp. People don't. It's not a thing.
It's not. We should at some stage.
That should be a whole episode.
Where it's just Leah and I yelling about the phrase classical theism.
On the blue shoes.
The one where y'all yell about classical theism.
One where we yell
about classical theism.
Yeah. We'll get Josh and Tom on. Well, actually, both
we're going to be like, you guys shush.
Yeah.
We're going to talk.
That's
much
so
like
funny.
we come full circle, much like the witness. You are going to witness our
witness
humility that demands an audience. Yeah.
Yes.
Humility that you're our audience. And just rate the very fiber of your being.
So, talking about Theology on the Rocks, do you guys have either a favorite episode or an episode that you are like, this really exemplifies why you should listen to our show? It doesn't have to be a favorite, I guess, but if you have one that you're like, this is what Theology on the Rocks is. What episode should people listen to?
We always talk about the one where we which is always a favorite, where we banish, kill, marry. No, we banish, marry, date.
Banish, marry, date, I think.
Different theologians. Penny, what is your problem?
What a good dog.
In the world, and she's mad about it.
But that one is always really funny, because when we talked about who we were going to banish, we really came together on that. And then someone asked us about it on the Hot Ones challenge. It was Tripp, Mark Driscoll, and Thomas Aquinas.
What?
And the problem was we both immediately banished Mark Driscoll, and then we were like Tripp and Thomas.
Mark Driscoll gets banished, and then I guess we're gonna date Tripp, and now we have to marry Thomas Aquinas.
Kristy, you said you were gonna marry Thomas Aquinas. I said I was gonna ask Alicia if I could just like sister wife with
co-marry.
See, the problem is you guys had terrible choices for that. But for those who don't know, it is a common thing for TJ and I to say it's the whole church except for Thomas Aquinas. We do hate that guy. I occasionally like to add except for Thomas Aquinas and Al Mohler. I do throw that one in there.
Yeah.
But that's not because of beliefs even. I'm just like, his actions are just so not Christian that I'm like, this isn't. He's also not consistent with his own beliefs, so I kind of feel like he's doing it in bad faith. And I have a whole rant, but this isn't me yelling about him.
I feel like that episode was really funny and like academic.
I want to add in Wayne Grudem to that.
But I don't
know him well enough.
Our Wicked episodes actually, I think, highlighted a lot of the theology that we're talking about, but also like the feminine friendship energy that I think we bring, which is something that I think with a lot of the podcasts that are at least on some of the I have my God Pods Network. While there are women who do certain podcasts, I think that the sort of friendship and also the disagreeing through friendship and talking about theology and, talking about different things. I feel like the Wicked episode really highlighted that, because you have, Chris, you would think that Kristy and I get along on everything. We get along on a lot of the fundamental stuff that I think friendship is based on. But like, there are some stuff where she'll bring up like yacht rock, and I'm like, or the Winter Olympics, and I'm like, this blows.
Or the Trinity.
This blows. And I don't want to, I can't. I just talk to me in 9 days. You know how long it is till the Winter Olympics is over? 9 days. Why do I know that? Because I'm waiting.
That's funny. That's funny. So if I were to just link one or two down below, you think the Wicked episodes in the show description should be what I link?
Which ones would you like?
I would say, I think the one where we banished, I'm trying to find the actual title of it, but the Wicked episode is, I think, a really good one. And then I would say, hold on, I'm trying to find the title of it. Where we banish Augustine and John Calvin to the island.
Calvin.
Augustine and Calvin? No.
Yeah.
I don't think I've listened to that one.
They weren't a good time, Joshua. They just weren't a good time.
We banished them to the island.
Keeping in mind the other options are date and marry, so you really have to weigh that. It's not that we don't want to like read them. But John Calvin did shut down like all the pubs in Geneva. So we're already
Yeah.
We were like, John can't.
Like, where are we going to go for it? He's going to take me on a coffee date midday.
So boring.
Not great.
He's going to be really mad about like short skirts and stuff. And
it's also an early episode, so you can like compare and contrast. Like, how did things go?
The Redneck Martini episode is our first. So I would put those three, like the Wicked, the Banish, Miracle.
The Redneck Martini.
And the Redneck Martini was our very first episode. That was a recommendation from Tripp.
Tripp tried to kill us.
And it's a North Carolina drink, and he tried to kill us, and we did it. It's Mountain Dew and, what was it? Mountain Dew and vodka?
I mean, I'd try it. Why not?
I mean, go for it. It's terrible.
I hate vodka, but I'd still do it.
And vodka, it's Mountain Dew and vodka.
Which if Leah it was tequila, that would be better.
Because Leah put it in a shaker, and then she started shaking it. And then, so the opening of the podcast is that
me shrieking.
She had told
That's
her, I
wonderful.
think we were on FaceTime or something, and so I saw it just starts exploding.
It does.
Because she's
I tried to be really professional and put it in the shaker, but I forgot that it was Mountain Dew.
That's so
We're both
funny.
just like on the floor laughing.
I feel like it sets the tone. So those are the three I would put up.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I'll say, like, for me too, for a while there, I was getting like frustrated with the network. Cause I'm like, man, I keep wanting it to grow and I don't know how to grow a network. Cause like, I don't do this. And like, I don't know, in my mind, I was like, we just need more shows and then won't be as frustrated. And I think what happened was like, cause like now I'm like, it'd be cool if we got a couple more shows, I guess. But like, I feel way more chill because I think you guys and then Paige and Pixel added like that female energy. And I think that's really where I was like, I needed that. Like, I feel like maybe my frustration was it was just too boy clubby,
many men.
you know?
Too many dudes.
Yeah. Too many guys.
We needed to fix that.
I don't even like guys that much.
It was.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not
like
just your network. That's just
kind of how it is.
There's a lot of that, and there's a lot of straight, cis men, white men doing theology. And honestly, are we just recreating the church here in the sense of like it's going to take a while to get some?
Yeah. Well, and then the frustrating part to me personally, and this might just be my own personal feelings. I said personal too many times. It's fine.
Okay.
I equally get annoyed when the Theo bros, because I feel like even like progressives have Theo bros. Like Josh probably it. Me and Josh might be Theo bros. It's fine. Like, it's okay. I equally get annoyed when they bring like female leaders on and it's very clear like the purpose was to show that there are girls out there, and I'm like, this is just as cringy as you just having only dudes all the time.
Kristy and I know it.
Yeah.
From certain circles, being the token lady.
Yeah, there's tokenship that happens with a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But it depends on what kind of what spirit you do.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. It's like, if you're like, you come out and you're like, hey, we're having you on because I recognize that there's a gap and I really want that. But I also want your knowledge and your insights. And yes, you are a woman, but you're also a theologian and you're someone who, that's different than just being like, there's a lot of, swinging Richards over here and we could use some.
You're the only woman we know, so can you come on?
I'm trying to use all the different metaphors with that.
I think the way you could tell too, though, is like the things that annoy me. I think what it is they'll have like a girl as part of a thing, and then they never really invite the woman to speak. You know what I mean? So it's like you could tell based on like the posturing, even though it's audio, that it's like that. Yeah, your intent was to show that you like women too, and that's where I'm like, that was cringy and annoying. Because on Systematic Ecology, we did that where I was like, we have way too many dudes on. I'm not inviting another guy host. We need a different perspective. Yeah. And then it wasn't like the first lady we saw, you're on the podcast. I was like, who do we know that we actually like talking to that meshes with our group? Because like, it's kind of like the host there, its own tight knit community, I feel like, on Systematic Ecology. So we're like, we have like a big following, I guess, but like we kind of do it because we're friends at the same time. Yeah. And it's,
And also you need people on there that'll like, here's the thing about podcasts.
Tell Christian when he's wrong.
You have to talk. And I remember the first time I was on, I just was like, I'm just going to treat this like it's Theology on the Rocks. Like, I'm just going to talk. And whatever one I was first on, I can't remember, but I probably was just like, no, you're wrong. And I think you need that, but
exactly how it happens on Theology on the Rocks.
But you need confidence too. And I think what we see is to gender it as well is that oftentimes females or people of color or fill in the blank, we aren't confident in our own voices sometimes because there's been a dominant voice and that's not us. And so I think it's sometimes difficult. It's not just about finding a token fill in the blank. It's this idea that we have been taught throughout our own personal history to, don't talk,
Or I think too, it can turn into like, she talked too much or she was too shrill or she,
Yeah, and that stuff's gross.
It's hysterical.
Yeah.
she got hysterical or she got bossy or
It's funny
something
going
like
to conferences because when you see people who are having meltdowns, it's usually like the old professor.
the
Man.
old
Yeah.
tenured men.
Yeah,
Dealing
he's having
with it.
a meltdown in the corner.
And there's a woman just looking at him like,
Yep.
you have to be kidding me.
God,
I think
you
the
make-
worst thing I've done along these lines, I did to Leah, though. I want to say that because it was so systematic ecology. She had been on an episode where we talked about aliens and we had some like fun, good episodes. I was like, man, I want to invite her on as a host. But part of the thing with systematic ecology is we have a lot of people from different beliefs and traditions and stuff. And like Christian's incredibly conservative. And I'm like, so I definitely set up an episode where I was like, me, Leah, and Christian are going to talk about our favorite female protagonist. And I'm like, I know where this is going to go and I'm going to watch it happen and see if they can be friends. That was,
we were.
I was like, this is awesome. This was great.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty easy because he just was like, I think this. And I was like, well, I think you're wrong. And he was like, okay, so moving on. And if you listen to it back, that was in real time. Like we're actually talking about it. And I was just like, I mean, he's not going to change my mind and I'm not going to change his mind. So it was just, but it was nice. And now we've done podcasts.
Yeah. It's so funny.
We've done more podcasts. We just did one the other day. Oh, the school spirits and he was doing Fallout or something.
Oh, Fallout. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was a great episode. Now we're just like, once you get, that's what you find about people with different theologies is that or political beliefs or fill in the blank. It's like, once you've set the precedent and you're like, look, you're not oppressing me. I'm not oppressing you. I'm not going to change your mind. You're going to change my mind. Let's just talk about something else.
Yeah.
And that can be unity in itself. Like, I really do think that.
Yeah. It's crazy because I do think listening, I'm like, you and Christian do have like a kind of chemistry feels like the wrong word, but you know what I mean? Like you guys bounce off each other really well. I'm like, this is awesome.
We do. Well, when we start,
fun. I'm
like, okay, so we're doing an hour and he's like, well, it's you and I, so we'll probably go over. And I was like, so I think yeah, absolutely. I think it's because we had that basis of like, there's no elephant in the room. And actually, I think what you did was correct. Now that's not going to work for everyone because we're older and we feel more confident in our thoughts or whatever. And we were used to meeting people who don't agree. But I do think what you built a kind of foundation where now we're just like, okay.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's like a helpful unity advice for the episode. Like that needs to be like a bell or something of like, sometimes you just got to like get out there what you disagree about and move on. Like, it's fine.
I'm still going to put Reverend Doctor on my tag.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
You have to. Well, before I start doing our normal stuff, before we our normal ending stuff, we have a lot for some reason. You guys have written like a lot of books, or at least I know Leah's written at least more than one book.
Kristy
has a book, right?
I do have a book.
I know I didn't make that up. Like I know Kristy has a book.
I have a book.
I don't read as much as Josh, but I'm like, I know there was a book.
She does.
Yeah, so you guys want to tell us about how many amongst the two of you are there now?
So I have one
and
that
Leah
has
has
been
25,
published, and Leah has 20. No, she's got
I've got
three out.
books.
Three books out.
I'm writing one now.
Number 4 is on the way. Number 5 is under contract.
So all right.
She's
So what's Kristy? What's the name of your book? We can plug that.
Mine is called Wounded Images. It is a discourse about the doctrine of the image of God, the Imago Dei. And I use the literature from an author named Jean Reese, who wrote her most popular book was Wide Sargasso Sea, which is a retelling of actually so if you've read Jane Eyre, you know that Rochester keeps his wife in the attic. So it is from her perspective. But my book does not talk about that one. It talks about her other 4 novels. So it's just the ones that nobody knows about.
Can I tell you
that is not where I thought you were building to.
I got Jane Eyre in my head mixed when I first saw Wuthering Heights. And I thought, is Jacob Elder Baba going to put Margot Robbie in the attic? I had those 2 books got completed, and I was like, he better not put her in the attic somewhere.
Don't put her in the attic. It's like don't put baby in the corner, but like way worse.
Don't put Margot in the attic, please.
Don't put her in the attic. Yeah.
That's funny.
So it is literature and theology, which is my specialty.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. Maybe they'll talk about it on Page and Pixel. We gotta get them over there. Just start sending them books. They'll love it,
Right?
I'm sure. Every podcaster loves when you just send them things and expect them to review
Here's
it.
some books. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a book.
Leah, you've got 4 out, 1 coming. Tell us some about what you've written.
Yeah, I have 3 out.
You have 3 out. Yeah.
And I have 1 on the way.
I don't know how to count, so I don't have a doctorate. I have an
It's
excuse.
It's
If I don't have a doctorate, I'm not expected to count.
That's why I put them behind me so that I don't forget, because I do forget. Yeah, so I've got my first book was based on my dissertation. It's called Embodied Peace Building, and it's really about it's quite niche. It's a PhD thing, but it's about Northern Ireland and peace building and theology. It's I will say my most systematic work, actually, because it deals with the idea of reconciliation, and I even quote Karl Barth in it.
I've read it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that one's it's qualitative research, but it's also very systematic. Then I wrote Bad Theology, which is I'm just gonna live with that forever, I think. And I set up this criteria for Bad Theology. That's my criteria. And I'd use some historic examples. Then I have the Bad Theology and COVID. And that one is more contemporary stuff. And I still use the criteria that I had in the first one. And then my newest book is on the ex-gay movement, conversion therapy, where I've interviewed some folks who've gone through that. And I'm going to tell their stories from their perspectives and then construct, it's kind of constructive theology in the sense that I'm going to construct what they used in order to justify the practices and what they told them. And interestingly enough, I'm finding that they use quite a Pentecostal means by which you spoke about Pentecostalism. It's very much a feeling and they emphasize the feeling and not thinking in their worship services.
Do they quote Frozen? Do they ever sing Conceal, Don't Feel?
They should. Because I will say, in addition to the Bad Theology, their endeavors are not very successful. So there's a lot of concealing. That
book's not out yet, though, right?
Or is it? What?
That book's not out yet, is it?
It's not, no. But it'll be out. It's due July 1st, which is the day before my birthday.
Wow.
You can pray for me. So if I like message you and I'm like, I can't do any podcasts for like 2 months, it's because I'm losing my mind.
That's fair. I've been waiting on that one though, because I was like, I want to get you on here to talk about that, but I want it to be relevant.
It's really good.
Here when the book comes
out. I've managed to get. I struggled for a while to get people to interview, and then it was a nice like kind of domino effect of getting people, and the stuff is just unreal. The information that I'm getting from them is unreal, and they all have very different circumstances, but the sort of themes that are coming out the theological themes are wild, and the fact that it's still ongoing, those practices, and still legal somehow. Yeah, you can thank your friend Albert Mueller. He's not on the island yet.
Yeah, that's my 2.
We're putting him on the island.
What did you guys? What was it that you did? It wasn't cast out. Why is my brain blanking right now? Banned?
We banished.
Banished
the island.
Yeah. We didn't kill anybody. Yeah. Those were the early days when we were trying to be nice.
Yeah. Al Muller's one of my 2 banished.
We married, we dated, and we banished.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So John Calvin got banished real quick because he's not a good time.
Yeah. I'm banishing Al Muller and Thomas Aquinas, and everybody else. We can have unity. We will figure it out somehow, but not you guys.
Augustine was a rough ride, though. He was tough. That sounded not the way I wanted it to, but he's a tough breed. How about we'll say it? He's a tough breed.
Yeah. I can find a couple things, enough things that I agree with that I feel like I could get along with him if I have to.
Yeah, but on a date. See, this is romance.
No, not a date. Not that. None of that.
See, that's the problem.
I'm not playing that.
This is not theological agreement.
Yeah. No, this is like, do you want to hang out with this guy?
Do you want to hang out with this guy?
But I got to tell you, as a woman, I super don't want to hang out with Augustine.
I got to say, I don't want to hang out with Martin Luther either.
He'd be like, you suck.
I'm a Lutheran who would not want to hang out with Martin Luther. I think that might be.
Martin Luther, he'd just be tortured.
Like
He'd
some
be
of the stuff he said, I'm like, I don't know, man. That's too.
He'd be so,
it's too
like,
much.
do you want to listen to Dashboard Confessional and drink some beer? And I would be
You
like,
know who would be great on evangelicals is Martin Luther.
Martin Luther would be so good on evangelicals.
I think that's my problem.
Gustavo Gutierrez, he made it. He's cute as well. Yeah. So he made it.
I think my problem is if I hang out with somebody, I want it to be like low energy. And the low energy aren't the people that we write books about and remember. You know, like that's why I'm friends with TJ. Like I might be high energy, but I want the people I'm around to be low energy because I want to not be so high energy.
I mean, that basically was my marriage vows. So I understand. If there was two of me in a relationship, we would burn this house to the ground. This
is why Leah and I say that we're twin flames born from hell.
Ooh, I like it.
And we are friends, but we love each other. We can't be married. I think
we would murder. Well, we would just die in implosion. I don't even think we would be like
little tornadoes just in the middle of the living room.
I don't think it would be like we would be.
We both just felt like this.
We would just like so much that we would die. We would just implode.
Yeah. Uh-huh. See, I'm lucky. I have two best friends. One in the podcast world, so I get to say his name, TJ, and the other isn't, and I don't say his name. But my other best friend that's not TJ, we could not live together. It would not work at all. I know because we were college dorm roommate-ish. We weren't even roommates, and I'm like, yeah, that wouldn't work. That's TJ, awesome. I feel like TJ and I could be roommates, and it would be fine. I don't think it would ever be a problem.
With TJ,
yeah, he's just so low key.
I could be roommate with TJ because he just be like, you want to go do this? I'd be like, no. He'd be like, cool, bye.
So cool.
Yeah. TJ is the greatest roommate.
Quite a bit at beer camp, and he really was just like,
he was so
Stuart
cool.
was 20, and was on like some real like weed. And I'm not saying that. I'm not putting.
We're not accusing TJ. We're just saying
I'm just saying he just was like. Right.
He does have a really good stoner vibe.
He does. He does.
You know,
which is one of my favorite people. I love stoners. So
same. Yeah. And we're not projecting that to you, TJ, but you did. He'd be like, do you want to do this? And I'd be like, no. And he'd be like, okay. Like there was no fight back at all.
So funny. Cool. All right. So last question before we do like our ending segments here. Are there any questions that you guys like hope people ask you when you're at like on other podcasts or at events and stuff that you don't get asked like super often? Is there anything that you're like, man, I wish they would have asked me about?
I wish that people would ask me about my opinions on everything.
She really wants to, but she needs you to give her like 500 hours to answer. And don't make her limit it to one.
Don't make me choose.
Speed round is not for Kristy. She did not like that.
That was so great. Her face when you described what we were going to do was perfect.
Yeah, I was watching it and I'm like, oh no, is this going to be trouble?
So hard.
She can do it.
It was fine. Y'all rocked it. It was great.
Yeah.
We did a great job.
I wish people would ask me more about probably like, well, you know, Joshua, we got to do it with the sports. Like, I feel like I don't get to talk about sports a lot. And I know that sounds really weird, but like people ask me about pop culture. They ask me about politics and they ask me about theology, but I don't really get asked a lot about that. And I think, but we have our sports geeks thing now. So that's more fun. We get to talk about it. Because when Kristy and I talk about sports, we both love sports.
We do.
We feel like we have to be quick because it's like, sorry.
That's not what people hear.
Doesn't like sports, so
that's funny. Yeah,
I feel like it's always fun to get asked stuff that.
Your questions were great, Joshua.
Yeah,
thanks.
They were really good. But like we know something about it, but we never get to talk about it because it's not theology related. You know, like people ask us a lot of theology stuff.
I was like
like Ray.
Ask me about curling because I can talk about that for a while right now.
I know nothing about curling.
I
just know there's a broom.
I figured out why. We won't talk about that right now. But like,
see, this is what we do.
So for listeners' context, Leah mentioned Sports Geeks. That is a YouTube series on Systematic Ecology's YouTube if you want to check it out. Yeah. But I feel the sports thing, especially because for a long time, everybody thought that like my favorite fan thing was Star Wars. And like nobody really like even knew that I liked football. And the funniest thing was I think it's still true. No, last year was the first time I ever bought something Star Wars. Because everyone just buys me Star Wars things for like my birthday and Christmas. Because everybody is like, oh, he's a nerd. He likes Star Wars. So I just get Star Wars stuff. And I'm like, I like Star Wars, but everybody else gets me enough I don't need any more Star Wars. And then like last year I got a game. That was the first time because it was like $2 on Steam. That was the first Star Wars thing I ever bought.
Too. I think music would be fun to get more questions about. Because Kristy and I are big nerds about sports and music. Like we go to lots.
We love music. Yeah.
Obsessed.
Like we're very into it
all the time. So it's like, that would be really fun just to talk more about music.
Well, like, there is some like, joyful noises. You guys can all.
I know, but I mean, yes. Well, we could go on and talk about our old school love of CCM.
I do sometimes. I'm like, the thing that kills me is I love some of these songs still. And it's funny how which ones have survived. Because some of the ones that like the music vibed with me the most, the lyrics are so bad that I can't make myself listen to it. And then there's some that I'm like, actually, lyric wise, this is still okay. Like, I'm not going to look into this because I'm sure they mean something different than I want it to mean. But as long as I don't look into it, I could still survive this song.
Well, Trip texted me about 3 days ago, I think, and asked if I wanted to go see Five Iron Frenzy, if you remember that band. They're coming to Greensboro.
That's awesome.
Josh Patterson's coming down from Baltimore, I think, as well to go. And I was just, it's Kristy when we're in Greenville. But yeah, so, and that's a band that I was like, I loved them. Like I couldn't have told you at all that they were Christian because they're just
there's so many bands that if you were like, what do you want to talk about this band? And I'd be like, for hours, like, or music in general. I love music and I have a really like long, deep relationship with music. And so it's like, we would, but
yeah. And that's why we got evangelicals. So so with the evangelicals, is that like emo is like your favorite kind of subgenre of music, Kristy?
No, I would say like mostly it's just that we identify as emo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But like, like Josh and Jed for sure have the most like credentials in terms of emo-ness.
They dress in black and have tattoos.
Well, and also because Jed is I don't know if he still is, but he was in a band cool. Participate, but he mostly did like metal music, I think. But like evangelicals, I would say is more about the vibe being very emo than that. We don't talk about music every episode. Sometimes we talk about.
Sometimes they just cry.
A million things.
An hour and a half.
We just start crying.
No words.
So it's a really, I mean, again, very unscripted, unplanned, just, but like it doesn't tend to be, they just did an episode. I wasn't there for it and was very mad. And I texted Josh several messages about how mad I was about it. Where they just played each other music that they've been into lately. And I was fuming because I was like, I have so much stuff I want to play and we have to redo this whole episode so that I can be there.
I agree.
Humble.
So, very humble. Yeah.
They have to redo this.
I have massive FOMO.
Or they just do an episode where they exclusively have to listen to your picks.
It's just me.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
She would love that.
Love it. If I could just foist all of my music onto you.
Yes, she would love that.
Do you have a favorite genre then? That you're like,
I'm really like mostly like indie alt rock. So emo fits really well into like, I love emo stuff, but indie alt rock would be like how I would define it mostly. Yeah.
Leah, do you have a favorite
I'm a
genre?
big fan of everything. I like almost everything. I like everything.
I don't like everything. I think that's insane to say that phrase. Yeah. You don't like polka.
Hey, Weird Al polka is great.
I'm here for polka. Actually, this is funny because you said that. because my grandma used to make us go to the Polish festival all the time, and they would just be playing polka music. So I really
Nice.
Certainly indie music and like a little bit of prog rock, I would say, progressive rock, and probably alt rock too. I agree. I'm big into the 90s right now.
We like sad girl music.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, I love sad music. Like,
me too. I want to.
My favorite Christian song is actually
Taylor
about
Swift,
suicide.
Leah is a Swiftie.
Me too.
Might surprise you.
I just accepted it one day.
I mentioned it that I like Taylor Swift, so I'm not like in the closet about it or anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I've told Kristy this a bunch, is I love Taylor Swift, and I'm like definitely like following all the things. But I don't know that I have enough money to be a Swiftie.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I have that like level of finances to be able to.
That's fair.
And like buy all 7 editions.
None of the cardigans. So yeah.
I don't own a cardigan. Yeah. All editions of like the Midnight So You Can Make the Clock. I don't have.
I love her music though. Yeah.
No, she's a fantastic songwriter. Yeah. And people who say they don't like her, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I mean, this is probably why me and Christian get along. I'm like, cool, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
I have 3 of her albums on vinyl. I keep pointing because they're right there. But I'm really folklore evermore. Like that's where I hit my spot with her, and then I was like, oh, okay, I
love those two. Those two are great. Yeah,
maybe she'll come to one of our Carolinas and we can go and hopefully. But you have to dress up.
Oh, I will. I
did go to the Eras tour, which is hilarious.
She did, and I didn't. So I'm not a real Swiftie here. You went to the movie. I didn't even go to the movie.
That's so funny.
Well, this is what I will say is that I was taken to both of those things. So
no one even took me.
That's funny. Yeah. I married someone who loves music, and I was one of those who grew up with, if that song isn't by Disney Animation or say the word Jesus, you can't listen to it. So I'm like, just discovered who Sugar Ray was like a couple years ago. Like I was like super under a rock. So I'm like, this is wild. Like the whole world of music is wild to me. I think my favorite genre is folk. I like the folk stuff and the sad stuff.
I love folk music. Bob Dylan.
I can send you a whole bunch of folk music.
I love Passengers so much. Like too much.
Passenger's great.
Yeah.
Kristy will play folk music at you for 2 hours and let you listen to her thoughts.
That sounds awesome. I'll do it.
Do it.
I believe that you would do it, but I don't think that you should.
No, I don't think you should.
I mean, I definitely would, but I think my favorite thing though is like folk is my favorite, but because like, you know, every now and then my Spotify thing is just so wrong because like we do podcasts and I interview people who do music. So every now and then it's like this one Christian artist is your third top artist of the year. And I'm like, no, it's because like I mostly listen to podcasts. And there was 1 month where I really listened to this person because I had to interview him. And that's it.
You should see Stuart and I share a Spotify. We share nothing else. So we're not that couple, but I don't want to pay for it. And he does. So we share that. Our Spotify rap.
It's so funny.
Hilarious.
It's so funny.
He listens to like My Chemical Romance and like screaming like and then it'll just be your top artist was Taylor Swift.
That's great. My favorite,
like Taylor Swift 30 Seconds to Mars. I'm like, what?
Gosh, I think my favorite was like 2 or 3 years ago when I was working at Shutterfly. I might technically be in the Epstein files. I was working at Shutterfly. Whoa. Well, because, you know, the whole company was owned by him, apparently. Anyway, so.
No, I did not know.
I had to be there at like 3 or 4 in the morning a lot of days, and it was like an hour-long drive. So I'm like dead asleep, and I discovered that sea shanties kept me awake really well. Yeah. So my top genre one year was, in quote, just said pirate music. And I was like, pirate music. What an accomplishment.
Pirate music.
Amazing. For 2 years now, because of my dog, my top genre has been dog calming music. So.
That's wonderful. That's
Kristy and I both have a thing that recognizes when Alexa hears the dog barking. Stuart set ours up to do the same thing that yours says. It says 0, shut up. Because you can hear the dog barking.
So
mine goes, hey Penny, and then it plays dog calming music.
Oh, and ours says 0, shut up.
So Penny and I share an account, and therefore my top genre has been dog calming music for years.
That is so funny. Last thing, and then I'm gonna start doing these in segments because we can't have.
Okay.
This is going to be the longest episode of Whole Church, and it's because TJ wasn't here. Blame him, everybody.
Well, also it's because we're delightful and funny.
Yeah, it's because it's
We're
wonderful.
and very
But
humble.
I do want to. Also, I think there's so many things that I like. This is one of my favorite things about TJ, and this is why we're like friends, because I'm like, this guy's awesome.
Joshua, we're starting to feel
if he still-
insecure about your relationship with TJ right now. We are right here in front of you.
It's fine. It's fine. Listen, I know you guys like each other more than either of us.
Well, we
Okay.
don't talk about it though.
Anyway,
have talked about it quite
TJ, I don't know if he still does, but he used to have, like, he created a playlist specifically so that it would be such a mix of music so that his Wrapped at the end of the year wouldn't be all like one thing. So he just has like a really wild, yeah, I don't know. I think it's funny though.
You
Like,
just
wow,
want to put it on his, it feels like a 20-something-year-old thing.
it might be.
You just want to put it on his Instagram or whatever they use so that people are like, you're cool.
I know somebody who figured out how to make it so that their Spotify Wrapped would be a certain order as well, and it was
That's
like
nice.
to spell out a word or something. I can't remember.
That's
but,
too
like,
much.
it's
That's
a lot
too
of
much.
effort.
I don't remember if it was him or one of his friends, but somebody got their Spotify Wrapped where it had more minutes than there were minutes in the year because they had multiple devices playing at the same time, like all year. I don't know. It was crazy. I was like, wow, good job. Anyway,
Stuart will be walking to work and I'll have podcasts that I've been listening to because I do listen to everyone's podcast or Taylor Swift, and he'll just be like, well, okay, but we can't, because you can't play on the same, if you share an account, you can't play two at the same time. So he'll just be listening to something.
It's just because you have a cheap version.
You're not insulting me. I don't own it.
Stuart, upgrade your Spotify.
Okay, well, it'll just say like one day he was cleaning and I could see that he was listening to Spotify and I could see he was listening to the music he does. So I just put the K-pop Demon Hunters on my phone. I was like in the bathroom getting ready and I just was like,
that's so funny.
And that's what you call being 40, kids.
That's funny though. I realized that my top podcast, it's like been the same thing for like 3 or 4 years. And Systematic Ecology makes it, but Whole Church never does. But then one year I realized it's all the podcasts that have more than one episode a week are usually the ones in my top 5. There's only one that only releases weekly. That's in my top 5. So that I was like,
we're number one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
Because you got to re-listen to our voices to feel better about life.
But y'all don't even release one every week because there's like seasons.
We try.
Yeah.
But we are not.
But come to find out, the world is making us work jobs.
I know.
People just need to pay y'all to do podcasts.
Yeah.
Everyone listening just needs to mail you checks directly.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's all. Yeah.
Yes. Kristy, we'll give Kristy's address out.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, I don't know how I'm gonna segue to this, but like
just do it.
One of the things we like to do before wrapping up is to ask our guests if they had to provide a single tangible action that people could go do, like right now, that would help better engender church unity. What one action would you recommend? And I know Kristy doesn't like being put on the spot, so Leah, you're on the spot.
I mean, no big deal.
Yeah.
Just get along, y'all. Have a drink.
That is a tangible action. Have a drink.
It is. But some people don't, I suppose. I mean, it kind of goes back to what we talked to in the podcast, which I think is if you know someone who fundamentally disagrees with you and who is not oppressing your communities, other communities, and that's real key. I want to put that in there. Because if you're just being a jerk, again, 6, I haven't cursed. I think that have a chat with them. I talked about that in the Embodied Peace building, and just lay it out and but don't avoid them. I think what we do is we avoid conversations a lot. And again, if this person's not oppressing you or other communities and they simply hold a belief that's different, Kristy and I try to embody this in our podcast, is have a chat, disagree, move on, talk about something else. As long as it's not fundamentally damaging to yourself or others.
Yeah, I was going to say similar, just have dinner with people.
Food. I stand by food and drink being key. honestly.
Well,
Even if it's not alcoholic.
Full circle. It ties back to your scripture at the beginning is, they were despondent and didn't know what to do and were probably disagreeing. Can you imagine the disagreements about the law or whatever? And the guy was like, he didn't say like, well, let's go have a summit and chat. He said, let's go drink and eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, let's party.
Let's party. I'm into it.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. Because if I'm remembering right, that's about the part near there is where scripture says like they heard the word and they had never heard it before, which is also why I'm like, I'm of the opinion that Ezra was one of the redactors of the Torah, but that's a different podcast for some other time. Because I'm like, there's a reason there was stuff they never heard before, and if that's the case, yeah, there was argument.
Yeah, the word law is interesting there. This idea that they had, I found that a bit confusing when you're reading it because it's like they'd never heard the law. The Israelites had they just, that's an interesting turn of phrase here.
Yeah, and for more on that, look up Richard Friedman. I think he's a Jewish scholar, but yeah, he's the one that's convinced me Ezra might have been one of the redactors of the Torah. So anyway, moving forward, if people took your advice, if people went out, they ate, drank, they spoke their disagreements, and then moved on, what would we see change in our churches or in the world around us, you think?
I think that there would be a lot more community being built. We have a really unfortunate kind of individualist society. And I think that it's really important we start actively working towards that. So if people get out and you interact with people all around you, like honestly, your neighbors, like just start meeting your neighbors. Like community building happens and then we understand each other better. We can solve disagreements better. We can support each other better. All of that stuff just starts naturally happening when you leave your couch, which I'm not great at all the time, but is important to do.
Yeah. I don't like to leave my couch, so I just invite people to me and then I cook. That's the deal.
Yeah. Hosting is so important though. Like, yeah.
They talk about it a lot. The eating and the drinking and the hosting is talked about a lot in the text. And yet we don't talk about it, unlike other topics. We don't talk about that very much. And I think that's interesting. Some of the stuff that gets repeated a whole lot, almost like it's important, we don't give as much emphasis as other things, which are mentioned maybe once or twice. And we give a lot of importance.
Yeah.
That's, so the people who do like the Holy Post, like Sky Jathani, Phil Vischer, all of them, they're more conservative than I am, but I still think they're not like hard conservative. I think one of my favorite things that they bring up is how like early church, the big sin that we are all afraid of is not being unified. And now I think Sky Jathani's term for it is crotch theology. And it's all about like what's going on between your legs. And it's like, that just wasn't what the church really focused on for most of its existence.
Yep.
So maybe we could say that's not classical theism. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's almost like it's not
a real term.
Maybe, perhaps. I don't know. So the actual last thing we do before wrapping up is our God moment. We just talk about somewhere we've seen God recently, or the divine, however you want to word it. It's cool. TJ likes to make me go first. He's not here, so now I have to go first. But I ditched last week early, so he had to go first, and I won one, and that was great. That's my God moment. Is last week I didn't have to do my God moment. No. Actually, there's been a lot of health issues with my mother-in-law recently, and not even like religious-wise, just like the people we know. There was just more support than I think we realized, and also things weren't as, I don't want to say as serious. They weren't as much emergency as we thought they were. But just knowing that there was more support than we thought there was has been huge. And just seeing God and all the people who are stepping up to help out is, to me, that's big. So that'll be my God moment this week. See, now I'm always afraid to put Kristy on the spot. I feel like I always have to make Leah go first.
I was going to go ahead and go because she's muted and Penny's losing her mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So my God moment is I'm currently teaching a course where I'm learning a lot more. You always learn stuff from students. Well, I say always very loosely, but
yeah, I've never learned anything from a student.
You tend to, if you're a professor. But there's something about this particular class that I'm teaching. And we're analyzing a lot of, it's called The Different Faces of Jesus. So we're analyzing a lot of movies and literature on the different ways Jesus is understood. And I'm just learning a lot from them and their perspectives and how they respond to certain things. Usually if you're a professor, like you kind of can predict how students are going to respond to certain bits, whether that's readings or movies or whatever media. And they're surprising me every week. And I think that's to be surprised as a professor who's taught now, I think I'm in like 15 or 16 year at this stage. That's pretty rare, I think. And so I'm really appreciating them. And I feel like it's a God moment because it's giving me, I feel like maybe I've been in a little bit of a bubble. So even liberal people can be in a bubble. And I think they're not even saying anything that's like denominationally crazy. It's just that are not within the realm. It's just that they're giving me perspectives that I feel like maybe I'd been in a bit of a rut. And I think that's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really
God's bigger than our bubbles.
Yeah. I can't help myself. Are y'all watching Ben-Hur or Risen by chance?
What? Is there a new Ben-Hur?
There is two Ben-Hur, but yeah.
No.
One.
He's only in it briefly. That's why I was like, I feel like probably not. I was just curious. That, I think, if I remember right, Ben-Hur was like the first book that the Catholic Church officially was like, this book deserves to be amongst us, even though it's not Bible. I forget the exact term. There was something. Ben-Hur was like
talked about the Jesus in media and how it's a dangerous thing and how Ben-Hur kind of got around that because it allowed for a Jesus story without it being Jesus.
Yeah.
Take note.
Yeah. Risen does something similar, but I feel like it's more evangelical than I would wish. But I like how Jesus is portrayed in the moments we see him. I was just curious. I'm sorry. I apologize. I am king of getting off the rails. Kristy, do you have a God moment for us?
Yeah, which is why I did my PhD the way I did, but I've been reading a lot that has just felt like it's been really kind of speaking to me in terms of connection and things like that and different ways to see the world. And I just feel like I'm in a phase of books being able to build community in various ways, which this is not intentional, but side note, we do have a banned book club that every week or every month that we do it is one of my favorite things that we do. And so I'm really looking forward to that every month, but this month in particular, because we're reading The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. And it's been such a great experience to dive back into her work and things like that. But yeah, a lot of the books I've read lately have just been really good kind of spiritual experiences.
Yeah. Stuart's in our band club, and it's cool because it forces, because he has the ADHD as well, and it forces him to sit and read. And we've always talked about wanting to have a band book club, or not a band, but a book club, just the two of us. And we lasted through half of one book. And so it's kind of nice that we have that set up.
Yeah. What's crazy is I've heard y'all talk about that before. It's one of those things. I have a few of these things at work, but I don't know what all I'm allowed to say about work on air for everybody, so I won't. But there's just these things sometimes. Actually, it happens with systematic ecology is the funniest because I write the outlines and then someone will ask a question and I'll be like, oh, that's good. I forget that it happens, and then every time I'm like, whoa. Actually, that is Wuthering Heights. We've had the same conversation 4 times, me and my wife, where I'm like, that sounds interesting. What's that about? And she's like, I've told you exactly what this movie is 3 times before. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, going to actually wrap this up. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say TJ's lines somehow successfully, maybe. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with a friend, an enemy, or a cousin, especially a cousin. Go to our website, perhaps, if you want. Not forcing you. Buy a t-shirt. Doing that helps us raise money, get awareness out, etc. make people listen to the podcast by force if you wear the merch. I think that's how it works. Check out the other shows on the Anazao Podcast Network. Theology on the Rocks, Whole Church. We're part of a bigger network, so you can see Systematic Ecology. Leah and I are both over there. Maybe Kristy will be on some Joyful Noises with me one day. We'll see. And I don't know. We mentioned Brandon a couple times. He's got a couple cool shows. And Page and Pixel are the other new show. So just check stuff out. Go to the website. It's worth it. I promise. We hope you enjoyed this one. And coming up, we're going to be talking with Andrew Fouts from Open Doors Canada about Christian persecution around the world today and what their organization is doing with that kind of stuff. After that, we're going to have Jim Stump from BioLogos join us to discuss his book, The Sacred Chain, and some of the ways that science might be able to bring the church closer together. Then we're having on Mike Morelli to discuss his work with his podcast, The Personalist Manifestos, and other stuff. After that, we'll have another roundtable discussion coming up on topics of how church engages with society. We'll be talking about like social justice, Christian nationalism, etc., with Aaron Simmons, Biggin Chica, Jill Elizabeth, and a few others. So it'll be a fun time. Finally, at the end of season 1, Francis Chan will be on. He doesn't know about it though, so someone has to tell him, possibly force him to join us, because I don't know if he'd even want to at this point. But just let him know. Maybe he'll just show up. We'll see. And until next time, later, I guess. Yeah, that sounds right. Thank you for listening to the Whole Church Podcast. Remember, if you too would like to help support our efforts to educate and unite the church, you can do so by going to our website in the show's description. Consider becoming an official member of the Whole Church Podcast, leaving a one-time tip, or purchasing a t-shirt to support our efforts. Thank you again. Let's make the whole church whole again, together.